Hey everybody, this is Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we're looking at an airsoft pistol, and this is the WE 1911 gas blowback airsoft pistol, and this is the tabletop review. I haven't done the shooting video for this gun. That will be coming up next week, so stay posted for it. This gun is available in our Canada Replica Airgun store over at replicaairguns.ca, so I will put links in the description if you're interested in buying it. So let's get right into the specifications. This gun is made by WE Airsoft. It is a gas blowback semi-auto pistol with an all-metal design. It has a full-size single stack style 15+1 dropout metal magazine, which holds the BBs and the green gas or propane, so it's not a CO2 gun. Again, it shoots 6mm airsoft plastic BBs. Now this gun weighs in at about 1.7 pounds, so 760 grams. A little bit lighter than most 1911s. I did notice that right off the bat, but again, it is all metal. They're just using maybe slightly lighter weight metals here. This gun has a total length of 8.5 inches and has a 4.5 inch barrel. Now it does come with the extended barrel, which extends that out about another 6 to 7 inches, which helps get this gun importable or allowed to be imported into Canada because that barrel extension increases the FPS, making it shoot up and over 366 FPS. You don't have to use the barrel. In fact, it does come, and I'll show you that right now real quick. It does come with 2 additional barrels. Now this is the barrel that threads into the barrel that's already in there, which has threading already, which makes it Canada legal. But you can swap out that already internal barrel with this one, which doesn't have the threading. So you can see how the barrels are sort of fluted a little bit on the ends, which helps for accuracy. This helps with airflow, so the airflow isn't disrupted. If you have threads right here, which you would need to thread into, right, to extend it, then that's going to disrupt the airflow, which could possibly reduce accuracy, right? So that's why you have these barrels. When I do test it, I am going to test it with this barrel in it. I will test it for velocity with both the short first, then the long. And then for accuracy, I'll put this one in because it won't be disrupting the airflow and it should give us good accuracy results. So I might as well show you what else came in the box since we're already doing that. You don't get any real tools or anything. You don't get any airsoft BBs, but you do get this really basic manual which says, you know, what do you got to use? Eye protection, shoot 6mm. It's gas, it's 18 plus, right? So if you're under 18, they're suggesting you probably have some sort of adult with you. Made in Taiwan. There's WE's web URL if you're interested in checking it out. And again, you just have really basic information. You can scan this code and get more information, I'm imagining, for the manual, right? So nothing really on here too important, right? The box is a basic box. I've shown them before. It's a brown box with label with nothing really on it other than a UPC code for inventory for the people that distribute it. So I'm not even going to show you the box. It's pretty basic. Okay. Let's finish off these specifications. Got a little sidetracked there, but that's okay. It needed to be covered. Now again, this is a 1911, so it has a single action only trigger. Again, it shoots at 366 plus FPS with that barrel extension added on. So we'll see when I do the field test what the shorter barrel results will be. It'll be a little slower, obviously. We'll see how much of a difference that makes. You're also not going to find any markings on this gun, which is interesting. So no markings other than the 45 APC. Right there on the barrel, right? Okay, so on the eject, or on the, basically on the breech portion of the barrel, okay? So really simple gun. Some people like that, some people don't, but it can be a pro or con as we'll get into. I do like the diamond pattern grips. These are basically standard 1911 grips as far as I know, so you could swap them out. There's no, you know, impedances there like some guns will have. A little thing that allows for CO2. This gun is just green gas, so you don't have any worries there. You should be able to put standard 1911 grips on this gun. And again, it is a replica of a Colt 1911 A1, so A1 standard, you know, government issue 1911, and it is unlicensed again with no licensing. And again, it comes in that box with the barrel extension and the manual. So I usually show another similar gun. I'm going to show you another standard 1911 A1 styled looking gun. This is the GPM 1911. I have reviewed this gun before, but you know, other than it's a different color, doesn't quite have the same grips. This has the standard, you know, wood, or I guess they were actually a plastic imitation wood grip on the standard 1911. So it's more traditional. Diamond grips are a little fancier, but pretty basic gun, right? So here you go. This one does have some markings on it. Nothing, a little bit different, but this does have the G&G marking. So you got the right? There it is, 1911A1. It's not really Colt licensed, it's G&G licensed, I guess you'd say, or engraved. It's got the G&G logo on it, right? But, you know, you're going to find they work very similar. The G&G gun is much heavier. It's one of the heaviest 1911s. So I'm comparing like one of the heaviest 1911s I've encountered to one of the more lighter ones. And they are significantly lighter. So I don't know. Some people want heavy. Some people want light. Like if you're packing this gun around as a sidearm all day, you know, in a vest or something, in a vest pocket, lighter sometimes is better because you're maybe not using it as often, but when you pull it out, it's there. It's going to probably shoot the same. It's just going to be a bit lighter. No big deal. Just depends what you prefer. Both of them are all metal. As long as the guns work well and are reliable over time and don't break down, then I think that's really all that matters. All right, we'll do a quick walk around and then I'll do a field strip after the walk around in this video. But let's take a look. You're going to notice it's got that, I wouldn't call it chrome, but it's got the stainless look to it. It does come in different finishes, but I do like the stainless look. I'm kind of a fan of stainless guns, to be honest. A little impartial, but I do like them. You'll see you've got the recessed barrel, which does sort of have a little, almost like these ridges. I think that's for adding the, if you want to add some sort of a red piece to the end, but here in Canada we don't require it. You've got your barrel bushing here, right? So you can, helps for taking this gun apart. You've got your slide catch release, right? Blowback action's nice. You've got these diamond grips, right? Really nice. Your single action trigger, it's got some nice texture there, which makes it a little, you feel a little bit better. You know, nice and short and light triggers as you're going to find on these 1911s. You got the one-sided safety, which is typical of an A1. You've got your just your standard hammer. You do have your working grip safety, right? You've got all the texture here. You'll notice the grips are nice and fairly narrow, and the whole gun is fairly narrow. 1911s are narrow. People think they're huge guns. They are long, and they are a little heavy in some cases, but they're not. I mean, as concealed carry guns, because they're so narrow, they're not that bad, right? They're just a little long, right? So, yeah, pretty nice gun. Let's take a look at that magazine. Single stack magazine. Okay, so you're only going to get, I believe, 16 rounds in it. What is it? It's, yeah, 15 plus 1, right? So 1 in the chamber, 15 in the mag. But it does look like a 1911 magazine. It's very similar in size. It is color matched to the gun, which I do like. You know, sometimes the companies will put a black mag in there because that's the one they have for their other guns. And they don't, you know, take the time to make a silver matching magazine. So I do like that. Let's field strip this gun real quick. Oh, I didn't mention, you just got your standard A1 notch post sight in the front. Nothing fancy here, right? It's not going to be the quickest target acquisition gun, but it gets the job done for sure. Take it off safe. Line up the notch there. See if my fingers can get this. No, they can't. So we're just going to hold that there. Push that out. Okay, cheat it with a tool because I can never get my fingernails on these guns. So it's just going to slide right off. I notice this kind of happens here. This just wants to wiggle around, but it's not a big deal. Once it's in the gun, it won't do that. So you can pull this all out. Makes it a little easier, right? And then you can take the barrel bushing right out, right? You can slide this forward. And if you want, you can actually remove this barrel at this point. I'm not going to do it, but you could remove the barrel. That's how you would get in there. You can pop this right out and remove that. But there's your hop up right there, right? And you can you'll see that the barrel, you can see the threading on the inner barrel there, right? You definitely, if you're going to keep the short barrel, and you want to switch this threaded barrel with the standard barrel for sure, if you're going to keep it like that. But for my intents and purposes, I'm going to leave it because I am going to be testing it with both. Okay, so first thing to go in is the barrel bushing, right? Then we put the guide in here. Make sure that lines up with that. Then the spring. And this piece. It doesn't really have anything to go on there, but that's fine. There's no real, like, little, some guns will have like a little, not this gun, but some of the 1911s, at least the Airsoft ones, will have a little nub that goes on, keeps it centered, but this gun doesn't need it. Once it's all together, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we get this all lined up. Find that piece there. Get that lined up, and in she goes, and we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so at this point we're going to get into some of the pros and the cons. This is an all-metal pistol with decent weight to it. Again, it's not the heaviest 1911 I've ever encountered. It's maybe a few ounces lighter than some, but it still has decent overall weight. You're going to find crisp, firm blowback operation because it does have a metal slide and a full cycle. So you're going to feel that blowback for sure. And I'd say the fit and finish is really good on these Wii pistols. There's definitely no problems there. You know, the slide doesn't have a lot of, there's not a lot of sloppiness in there. It's fairly firm. A little bit of wiggle, but you do need some. So fit and finish, I'd say, is good. Again, you're not going to find any markings on this pistol. Some people are going to like this and some people are going to not. So I'm going to call it a pro for some people. They don't want that. A pro it is in this case. I do like the color matched magazine. I have noticed with some other guns when they do the chrome or stainless versions, they just have a black magazine and that stands out on the gun, takes away from the overall looks of the gun. 99.99% sure that you can put real steel 1911 grips on this gun. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Accommodation for the CO2 on the mag well, so really it shouldn't be a problem. And again, as expected with most of these airsoft pistols, all the controls work like the real steel gun, including the slide catch release, magazine release, safety, and grip safeties. Now with that barrel extension, we should expect up and over 366 FPS using 0.20 gram airsoft BBs. Not sure what to expect with the shorter barrel, probably going to be just up and over 300. So we'll find out when we do the field test shooting video, so stay posted for that. But if you do want higher FPS, you can use that barrel extension. Again, I like that this gun is fully feel strippable as I showed you, and it does come with the barrel extension, the replaceable inner barrel, if you plan on not using that barrel extension. All right, just a few cons. No markings or licensing on this gun if that's important to you. So again, it's a pro if you don't want it, and it's a con if you do. Some people like to have Colt licensing and all that branding and licensing on their guns. They think it looks more authentic. Hey, to each their own. And again, perhaps it's a bit lighter than your traditional real steel 1911. Most of them are going to weigh up and over 2 pounds. This gun weighs in again at 1.7 pounds, so slightly lighter. And the magazine does only hold 15 plus 1 rounds, which you might think is a bad thing for an airsoft battle, right? You're going to run out quickly. But in terms of authenticity, a real 1911 single stack only held 7 plus 1 rounds. So if you're into the truism of a gun, then I would say this is a little more on par. You know, you could load 7 rounds in there if you wanted to make it even more realistic. So 15 rounds is about double that, but not like a 20-something round magazine, which makes it way higher than what you would normally get in a real steel version. All right, again, this gun is available in our Canada Replica Airgun store over at replicaairguns.ca. I will put a link in the description if you're interested in buying it. If you're interested in other products in either Canada or the US, we do have air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories in both of those stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. Also, make sure to come on down to replicaairguns.com, our blog, where I have additional photos of this gun and a written review to match this video. So sometimes there's some other information in there or things I might have forgot to put in the video. At least you can check out some of the pictures of the product as well there. All right, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.